number of years ago, I was on a flight headed to Eretz Yisrael, and it turned out that Rav Shmuel Birnbaum Zatzal, one of the Gedolei Hador, was on that plane. And after we davened Shachris in the back of the plane, we were escorting him back to his seat when there was an announcement over the loudspeaker that there's turbulence going on and everybody has to sit down right now. Well, Rav Shmuel wasn't able to hear the announcement, and so he just resumed talking as usual. And then one of the Israeli flight attendants came over and he said, "Rabbi, the plane is shaking, you have to sit down now." Well, Rav Shmuel heard him, and he smiled and he acknowledged him. But at that point in time, he looked at him and he said, "Tefillin." Tefillin, showing this individual his talis and his tefillin bag. And the fellow said, "What? What are you talking about?" Rav Shmuel again said, "Tefillin, tefillin. Did you put on tefillin yet today? If not, you could borrow mine, please." And the individual smiled, but he said, "Rabbi, I haven't put on tefillin since my bar mitzvah. And since that time, I've done so many sins. I've committed so many crimes. I'm the lowest of the low as far as my Judaism. The tefillin's not going to do anything for me." And Rav Shmuel said, "It's not true. Put on the tefillin, do a mitzvah. You're able to accomplish such incredible things." Well, ultimately, the Israeli flight attendant didn't put on the tefillin. But after Rav Shmuel went to sit down, the fellow turned to me and he said, "Wow, that must be a very special rabbi." You know, this fellow thought that he was the lowest of the low. He's done so many sins, he's done so many crimes, he is the lowest of the low as far as his Yiddishkeit. But Rav Shmuel Birnbaum saw something totally different. He saw somebody who's on top of the world, somebody who could accomplish incredible things. The Gemara tells us a story about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who was traveling out of Yerushalayim, and he saw a Jewish girl sitting on the floor picking up barley from amidst the excrement of the animals that belonged to the Arabs. And she saw him and she ran over to him and she said, "Rebbe, feed me." And he said back, "Who are you?" And it turned out that she was the daughter of one of the wealthiest people out there. And at that point in time, he began to cry. And he said, "Ashreichem Yisrael," praiseworthy are Klal Yisrael, that when they are doing the mitzvahs, when they're doing the right thing, then no nation can stop them, nobody can affect them. But however, when they're doing the wrong thing, then they sink so low into the hands of the animals of the lowest of nations. And the Maharal asks the question, what is it that he was saying with the words, Ashreichem Yisrael, praiseworthy is Klal Yisrael? This isn't the moment to say those words when you're witnessing something so low, something so terrible, this Jewish girl taking food in this lowly state. Why is he saying Ashreichem Yisrael? And he answers so beautifully. He says, because when it comes to the Jewish people, there's really only two states. One in which we're doing the mitzvos, we're accomplishing, we're coming close to Hashem, then we're super high up and nobody is ever able to stop us. No nation can do anything to us. However, when we're not doing the mitzvahs, when we fall to a low level, then we fall so low that we end up in that kind of a state. And what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai saw, he saw how low we sunk, but he said this is testimony to how high we're really able to achieve. If Klal Yisrael could sink this low when they're not doing the mitzvos, recognize that they're able to reach such incredible heights, that same level, that's how high they're able to go up when they're doing the mitzvahs, when they're coming close to Hashem. We're in the time period now of the 3 weeks. Time period when Klal Yisrael sunk very low, which ultimately led to the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. But we have to look at that and get chizuk and recognize that if that's how low we sunk, then we're also able to reach such incredible heights when we're doing the right thing. Rav Shmuel Birnbaum saw that in the flight attendant who reached low levels, but yet he said, you can accomplish big. And Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai sees that in Klal Yisrael. What we have to do is take this time for introspection to see how we can accomplish, what areas can I improve in, and then through that, ultimately, we'll reach incredible heights and nobody will be able to stop us.